left off was, in this post, we paused the code after we submitted the form, and what we saw was everything that was typed inside the form came across as params. I want to break down how it comes across on the params and why it knows what it knows. So let's do this real quick. For now, let's change this to text. Sinatra handles it in like a weird way. The other thing is, let's take a look. Let's change some things around. Inside this new, do you remember the form? Where does this form submit to? What route will this form hit? Correct. What HTTP verb will it hit? Post, right? You can see it right here. Cool. So you guys like that. I do it because it makes it very obvious. Some classes don't like it very much. But cool. Good to know. All right, so this will post. Forms, by default, will post, which makes sense, right? Because you take a form, you take some inputs, and by default, why would the form that's taking in inputs that's going to send data over to the server make a GET request? That's crazy. And then you don't want the default action of something to be delete. And then typically in a form, unless you're specifically trying to edit something, you're usually just sending data over, right? So it'll default to post. So we have a post2 / fake holidays. Here, if I change this name to be, I don't know, fake holly name, and then the date is date time now, please, and this fun Boolean. Right? What do you think this name attribute does for our inputs?
It's like a key.
That's correct. It's the key that comes across on the params, pointing to the value that comes across in what is actually submitted. So let's take a look. How would I see this form? How would I get to this form? Well, how do I get to the form, though? /fake holiday / new, right? So let's do that. Boop, boop, boop. /fake holidays / new. Cool. So nothing has really changed yet. I showed you guys the inspector already, right? So let's take a look at this form. I have a form that will post to /fake holidays. So far, so good? In here, this first one is going to be this input right here. Let's do this. Cool. We have this input. This is exactly what I wrote, right? Name is going to be fake holiday name, and the name attribute for the input is going to come across as the key in the params. So I can have something in here, right? So input number 1, right? This is supposed to be the date. And then this is false, right? It's like a Boolean, whatever, right? If I hit submit, where is my post to /fake holidays? What does that do for me? What happens in the post to /fake holidays? It hits the pry, right? But it will redirect, but it hits the pry. Cool, I'm in the pry. Check my params. Look at this. Look at what comes across. Cool, I can clear it and just check it again. Does everyone feel comfortable with how the params are being built? All right, it just didn't magically know the attributes that I had. I specified them as the name attribute inside my inputs. Can I use the params now? Oops, that was embarrassing. Can I use the params now to create a fake holiday? Is this useful at all to me?
Yeah, but it's very more enhanced. You can always do like create new and then like name colon.
Yes, absolutely. Be painless. Sorry, totally. Very good. So the idea here is that I want to name this the same as the attributes in my database, so that I can just use the params hash. Does that make sense? So that's why I named this name. And that's why we named this date. And that's why we named this fun. So that the keys will come across in the right way inside the params. And so I can just use the params hash. So the attributes line up. Who feels comfortable with what I just said in regards to why I named the name attribute in the inputs so that it comes across params so I can use the params hash? Who feels good about that? Great, good deal. It gets a little dicey when we get to like edit and stuff, so it's good that you feel good. Oh, that's right, I keep forgetting you don't have that here. Embarrassing. Great. Let's do this. Let's go back to new, and let's actually create something. So, does anyone have like a fake holiday in mind? All right. Festivus. There's a Festivus for the rest of us, and it will be tomorrow. And that is, yes, fun, true, cool. Does everyone know what I'm talking about? Yeah? What a good one. All right, great. So I have params. Here I can do fake holiday. Man, I cannot spell right now. Create using the params. Okay. Okay. All right.
So it automatically translated true into a Boolean?
Yeah, if I put true in there, it will be smart enough to put it as true with the Boolean.
Okay.
Yeah. You can no, I'm serious. You can also do, if you wanted to do something and just put fun, you can put in like 1.
If you put in nil, will it? Cool. So if you put in false, though, it'll automatically assume, like in the string, it'll still assume that's
Yeah.
false.
So active record does a lot of if-elses for you, and that is, if it's false the string, it'll just convert it to false the Boolean. If you pass it 1, it'll convert it to true. If you pass it 0, it'll convert to false. Because that's how computers like work and think, right? Binary. It's more cool.
Wait, isn't it able to just create based off of params because the keys now match the names of like what you built out the model? Like
That is exactly correct.
okay, so they have not. So with the other one you do with the names are all goofier, that would not.
I could not use just the params hash now. Yeah. Because of the way mass assignment works. Does that make sense? The mass assignment where the keys from the hash match the attributes. You went over this in mod 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does active record also, I'm always confused about this, does it also translate between like symbols and strings on the key values? Because like
Yes.
when it showed it up there, it looked like it was strings.
So like, let's take a look at params, right? You're talking about params at a key of name the string, and then params at a key of symbol name. All right. Yeah. Yes. In regards to the lookup, speed-wise, the way the data structure of a symbol lookup is faster. But I mean, if you could see the difference between this and this, I would be incredibly impressed. That being said, computer science-wise, the symbol process is faster, but the string is totally fine. In terms of best practice, people always use just the symbol. Cool. You'll see that a lot. Good question. All right.
But the HTML has to be a string, so that's why it does that.
Yes. The HTML will send back string. But active record does what is known as the indifferent hash, and that is, if it's close enough, it looks exactly the same. So like 1 and 1, it'll just be like, that's close. And then it'll be like, cool. Or like this. It'll be like, great. Yeah. Smart. Very good. Yeah. All right, cool. Awesome. So, oh, look, there it is. Festivus. It just got added to the index. Why did I get sent to the index from my code? Why was I sent to the index? Actually, both.
Well, you told it to redirect.
That's exactly what I'm looking for. That's exactly the correct answer. There's no tricky questions here, right? When you get Mike Chang, he asks some really tricky questions. When you get, he's like the bigger, buffer Asian guy. Thank you. Wow. 10 points to Gryffindor. No, he asks questions that really make you think. I just ask very blunt questions, right? The idea here is that I was able to see index because right after I paused the code, I basically exited out of the pry, and then it continued running the code. And here it does a redirect to /fake holidays. A redirect will always be a GET request. So a GET to /fake holidays will bring me what? A GET to /fake holidays, and then it will do this code. Cool? So, great. In here, in the create, this is exactly what I would do. I would put fake holiday, exactly like we did when we paused the code in the binding pry. Little create action, params. And then I would just redirect. I can get really fancy, and I can say, you know, fake holiday equals, and then I can always redirect to fake holiday and interpolate the ID. This would bring me to what RESTful route? What RESTful route, right? Smart.
When you do the mass assignment create, is it also being really intelligent and doing like optional arguments? Like what would happen if you had a form with like three like equivalent of in your database of columns that you were entering and you only pull in two, and then you just use the params in the create instead of like params name, params title. Does that make sense or no? Like if I had a create form and let's say I have 10 fields in the form, but
Cool.
the user fills out 3.
Yeah. What you'll see is right now we don't have any validations. So what that means is, like, for example, I put in one attribute, right? If my params was only one attribute, it'll still create it, and then all the other values would just default to nil. To answer your question? Cool. Awesome. So let's keep going, right? How do I do this edit then? What does this edit action do?
That is specific. It takes you to a form and edit a specific column.
Correct, right? It allows you to edit a specific resource. So we have to ask ourselves 2 questions. All right? Do we need anything from the model?
Yes.
Cool. What do we need from the model?
The fake holiday.
We need the one that we're going to edit, right? So we have fake holiday dot find, passing in what? Just ID?
Params.
There we go. Smart, right? You like this? Does that work for you guys? But it's too slow, right? We saw how slow that was. Ridiculous. Get that out of here, right? That would work, but we're going to use a symbol. Cool. So this is going to find it. Do I have access to it inside this edit view page? Not until I give it access, right? So I have something like edit, or what do you want to name this thing? What do you want to name it? Huh? Edit holiday? What is this object? Cool. Right? They look the same, but here, based on scope, they're different. Cool? So inside edit, and I would find that under views, fake holidays, edit, I have access to at holiday. Yes? No? Is this the correct way to write it? Why? That's right. I heard it. Because it looked like a Ruby, right? Very good. You guys just afraid to say what I'm saying? Okay, good to know. Good to know the Asian people laughed in here. All right, so right? All right, let's do this. Bloop. Just gonna do this. Oh, what's that? Bloop. All right, cool. Do we want to make this post in our update?
It's a weird thing where you
Let's. Can I do this?
Yeah. No.
Let's find out. Right? Let's find out because some of you have gotten to the readings. Cool. How can I actually see this form? You know what? Just to make sure we're not crazy, right? We're gonna put edit that form. Oh, somebody's watched Wheel of Fortune before. Very good. How do I see this edit form? How would I see this edit form? Yes, very good. Slash fake holidays, passing in some sort of ID, and then the edit. Cool. So I can go fake holidays. Let's edit number 2, sunburn holiday, and we're going to put slash edit. Cool. Let's take a look at what edit that form. So we know we're not on the new page, right? Let's take a look. What is this here? It says patch. Seems okay. Seems all right. The idea here is that we want to hit this route, right? Patch to slash fake holiday slash ID. Let's take a look. If I were to go to, like, boop. Oh, wait, hold on. That's not going to work. Let's take a look. We want patch to fake holiday slash ID. Almost tripped me up there. Are we going to patch fake holidays slash ID? No, we're not. So how can I tell it what the ID is? I have access to cool. But what'd you say? Oh, wow. I like how not dicey that sounded. Cool. Yeah. It very much looks like Ruby. Is that what you guys like? You guys like hearing it that way? God. Oscar's so white, right? No. So anyways, fake holidays slash ID. Cool. Now let's see what happens when I put boop. And I put a date like yesterday. Is this fun? No. If I hit submit, what happens? That was weird. I can always check to see what actually happened. So I did a get, and then what happened? Didn't really do anything, right? I didn't like that very much. The problem is, I told you that the internet was busted, right? And that HTTP 1.1 only knows about getting posts. So what you'll have to do is you gotta sneak it in there, and you throw a little hidden input in there, and you tell it that I'm actually going to overwrite the method, the method, and it's going to be a patch instead. It's a little sneaky, but this is how the internet works, unfortunately. What? Oh, Hideen, very good. Thank you. Yeah, that would have broke. Cool. Cool. Great. So let's go back. Bloop bloop. Okay, bloop. Cool. So refresh. It's a post, but it's really patch. Cool. So let's actually put a binding pry right here to see if I can even hit the route. Right? I want to test this. So, boop boop boop. I'll do this, and I'm gonna put. You guys want to make up a holiday? The Pokemon holiday, Pokeday, Pokeday. All right. When does this happen? You know what? The Mario Day. You know when that happens? March 10. Smart, always fun. If I hit submit, what happened here? Does anyone know?
Do you not have the override around?
That's right. So Sinatra doesn't actually know how to process this rack method override. That's what it's called. It's called rack method override. Do you remember rack and that amazing, very complicated piece of like server software? All right, cool. Walk me through what I have to do. Do you remember?
No.
No, you don't remember? Cool. You know what we can do? We can always do this. Bloop. Rack method override. Cool? Like if you know what it is, all right? Or you just be like, Sinatra doesn't understand patch requests. Just see what happens. I don't know. Patch method, let's see what happens. Boom, it tells you. Cool. Yeah, all right, so this is it. Make sure that in your controller, you set method override to true. Do you see how I just like I didn't know what the heck was happening and I just Googled it? I literally clicked on like the first or second link. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna read through this. And then it's like, oh, I should probably try to do this. Honestly, I think this is the correct syntax. But look at this definition. Sinatra won't know what to do with input type hidden, value patch, method underscore. Wow. Bless up to, who is this? Don't jar. Plus plus. Oh wait, I'm not logged in. But yeah, I mean, yeah. You know what I mean? Great, let's do that. Bloop. Cool. Right, yeah. If Don't Jar ever watches this recording, yeah, bless up. Cool. Great. If I go back and I refresh and I put the actual real holiday, Luigi Day, right? Also March 10, not March 11. Is there a holiday? Louis 9? Huh?
His last name's Mario, so you can be
It's Mario Mario?
Mario Bros. Movie is what? Mario and Luigi Mario.
I'm usually really good at trivia.
That's why I know the Mario Bros.
I'm usually really good at trivia, but that stumped me. That stumped me. Wait, you talking about the Mario Brothers movie? The one with John Leguizamo as Luigi?
Yes.
That's why I didn't watch it. All right?
You need to.
All right. Yeah, all right. Anyways, now we're at the patch. Cool? The idea here is that if you have no idea how to do something, but you know what you want to do, or you can describe what you're trying to do, oh man, that Google algorithm, so good. Right? I literally put like, hey, Sinatra doesn't know how to do this thing. I gotta understand. And I found the solution, and it worked. I'm here, this is why I lecture though, but I'm here to explain to you why. It's because HTTP 1.1 doesn't understand how to process it, so you have to use this rack method override. And what's happening is rack builds your local development server. It'll accept the post, it'll take in the post, read the hidden input as patch, and go, oh, you're actually trying to patch. And then it will look in your routes for a patch2/whatever. And that's what's happening under the hood. Cool? Rack is now known as like middleware. Middleware is very complicated. It's also a very good blog post, so feel free. I'm just throwing out these ideas, MVD. Cool. So what are my params? Mario. Ridiculous. The issue is I have this underscore method patch, right? Which makes sense because it's an input that came through, right? If you look very closely under my edit, right? If you look very closely, this is an input. So when I submitted the form, this input came through. And what was the value of it? And what was the name of it? So does it make sense that this is here now? Great. Let's try to do this. Fake holiday dot create. All right, we'll just try to create for now. Cool. The params. Huh. It did not like that. Didn't like it at all. So, what do we do? Well, did you mean? Almost always, these did you means are like right on point. Today, no. But almost always. The idea here is that there is no attribute of underscore method. So I can't really use underscore method here. What I really want to do is in my params hash, I actually want a separate hash inside that I can call on. So let me explain, because that sounded kooky, right? I can have like a hashy hash, and it is equal to this. Cool? Just regular old hash, no big deal, right? Then I can have hashy hash, and then I can say, at a key of, I don't know, say method, D, 2 Ds, so not to confuse it with anything else, is equal to patch, something like that, right? Patchy. So far so good. So if I look at hashy hash, I see this. What I really want to do is inside this hash, have my own custom hash that has all of my attributes. So for example, I can have something like the attributes I want is equal to a hash. Its own hash. Cool? So inside here, I can have the, I don't know, the name, right? Nested hashes, you remember this? Is equal to, right? Luigi Day. Bloop. And then I can have date, right? Is every day. He is clearly the better brother. Cool, no big deal. Okay, some of you guys didn't like that, that's fine. I'm the younger brother, right? So that makes sense. Cool. And fun is going to be for show. You know what, let's just give it the Boolean. What would I see if I actually saw hashy hash? Cool. What I see is a underscore pointing to patchy, and then another hash pointing to only the attributes that I want. So if I were to do something like hashy hash, and I call on only the attributes that I want, I've actually effectively separated out the underscore method patch attribute. I'm just like waiting for a response, like yes you did, no you didn't, you're a liar, like anything is useful to me. Cool, right? There is no underscore method patch here. Can I use this, so fake holiday dot create, using this bad boy right here? Heck yeet, right? Yes, I can. So the question is now, how do I create this nested hash inside my input field? Well, I can name it something like, I don't know, just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to say something ridiculous, and then I think you can figure out what it is that we really want. So I'm going to put phone because for whatever reason it won't stop ringing. Okay? No, it's just like vibrating like crazy. I'm not popular. I looked at it, and you can check it later, but someone canceled on me. So even less popular, ironically. So let's just, we know what to do, right? We know what to do. We know what to do. Cool. All right. That's how I'm feeling. Great. So let's do this, right? I go back to my edit. Oops, I didn't get out of this yet. Now you guys have continue here. You'll get continue later with bybug, which is Rails version of pry. Cool. So in here, oh my God, that's my real phone number. Probably shouldn't have said that. I should have been like, that's a bunch of gibberish. Okay. You're a really fun class. Cool. So if I take a look at params, this is what I'd like to see. And that is underscore method patch, and then a key of phone pointing to a nested hash. So if I look at params at a key of, you guys like that? Like this? All right. Can I use this? Yes, muy good. Yeah, eat. Eat. You guys read that thread. You guys are all you're all on it. Cool. This is useful to me. Does everyone understand how I built this nested hash by going into by going into the form and creating the nested hash this way? Yep. All right, cool. So now let's take this to the next level. All right. Do we want to name this phone? What do we want to name it? Holiday, right? Something like that. Believe it or not, you just created like this Rails convention. Does it make sense why this exists? Right? Like, so for example, you see this? I built a form in HTML. This is like basic HTML. There will be a helper for you in Rails that will build this form for you, and it will build it with something like this inside. When we get there, some of you forget and go like this, oh yeah, I remember. And other people will remember and be like, I made that up, and I'm smart. And so, cool, right? Let's check out these placeholders because we're trying to edit the item. The item already exists in the database. Does it already have values? Cool. So let's take out these placeholders. Let's put value. Let's get rid of this. What is the current value for the fake holiday's name? At holiday dot. Who's that? Thank you. It looked like a Ruby, right? Very good, thank you. So we can do this. Bloop, 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 bloop. Cool. A little date action, a little fun action, and now let's take a look at what's going on. Okay. Didn't expect that. What is it? 2. Right, 2 is the sunburn one. I should see. Oh, there it is. Sun birthday in the summer, and then I think we like forgot the Boolean for this one, or it wasn't taken because of the checkbox. So, any questions on like how this came about or how this happened? All right. So we'll just change this little moon birthday action. Oh, burn day? That didn't make sense. Birthday. All right. Nobody celebrates moon birthday except the Asian people, right? Like the lunar count. All right, it's all right. All right, I don't know. What does it happen? Like usually February, January, Feb, kind of Jan-ish, right? And if you actually know what it's about, for sure, mad fun. It's when those red envelopes come by, make it rain. So, cool. All right, I'm gonna hit this. I'm gonna hit the patch one more time. Hit submit, and I'm in the patch. Okay? That was weird. Either way, I'm not trying to create here. I'm instead trying to what? Patch, update, right? Close enough. How do I do that? There is an update function from Active Record, but which one am I trying to update? Number 1. Number 2. That's right. All right. Let's check my params one more time. Ooh, that's useful. And where does that come from? Yeah? So if I do a little fake holiday dot find with some params, a little params action, what should I get? Yeah? The second one, and that's correct. That's the one I'm trying to update. So, if that's the one I'm trying to update, can I do something like fake holiday equals to underscore? Do you guys seen the underscore before?
Yeah.
All right. Alex is so powerful. Cool. So FH, right, just to make sure, .id should be, cool. FH, Active Record, has a lot of things for you. They have find, they have find by, they have first, they have last, they have all. They also have an update. And what do I want to use to update? Yes? Right? And how do I get there besides the one person in class? 2 people. I'll take it. 2 is fine. Great. Params at a key of holiday. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Cool. It just says true, which is interesting. But let's take a look at FH again. Moon birthday, February, sometimes January. It's based on the moon, right? Are there any questions on like how this worked? The nested params, the patch that you have to kind of fake with the underscore method value patch, why we did that, rack method override true. Yes.
How did you get the ID from? Like,
The params?
yeah.
Okay.
When was that passed in?
That's a very good question, right? The question is like, when was the ID passed in? Because as you can see on the form, the ID is not there. But what route did the form patch to? Well, post underscore method value patch to. What route did it patch to? What route did this patch to? It sent a patch request to /holiday/2, right? Right. If it sent that over, based on the way we've written the route, and we've done this like namespace : ID, it's pulling the params from the route too. So you'll see all of this and this came from the form, and this came from the route. Cool? Very good question that trips a lot of people up. Cool? And then I utilize that data, which is why it makes so much sense that this patch route needs the ID. Right? And then all I did was I called .update on it. So let's do that. I can simply, bloop, let's get rid of that. We have a little fake holiday action, .find with the params coming from the ID. And then we can just store that if we want to, right? A little FH action. And then FH.update, passing in the params at a key of holiday. All right, does that make sense, the key of holiday? You remember that? That whole nested action? Instead of phone, where I got canceled on? Embarrassing. And then what does it do? It redirects. Is this going to work? No. What do I need to do? I can also use params, right? Because it'll be the same ID. But I'd rather just specify the object's ID. It's like it just is more readable. There's no difference. At this point, it'll both be 2.
So when you say .update params holiday, that's just saying like update this object with whatever the most recent thing we entered for this ID in the form.
That is exactly correct. Yep. So what we said was when I run .update and it's like this params holiday, that's what the user submits inside the form.
Because I've also seen that passed in like .update, and then it's kind of like as a hash, like there's the value that needs to be updated, and then the value updated too. I don't know, maybe I misread it.
Probably.
Okay.
That's okay.
I think I understand the question.
Okay,
For
yes.
holiday, it is a hash, so you are still sending in a hash, and it has this key value.
That's exactly correct, right? So if we looked at params holiday, params at a key of holiday, this is it right here. This is what it actually returns. I can, instead of doing this, hard code it janky styles, right? Like, name, right? New Holly name, terrible date, So slow, right? Instead, I actually have the object in here that points to everything that the user put in, right? Is that fair? Awesome. Delete is a little weird. We will handle delete when we get to Rails. Are there any questions on the 6 RESTful routes that we completed? Why I did this right here, like put holiday in, how to interpolate the ID, how to trick it from a post into a patch, just be a little sneaky, all right? Let's see what else is kind of important. All right, why I do something like model and what the response is, and can you identify when you need a model and when you don't need a model? All right, so like this needed a model. I needed something from the model, and then there was some sort of response, which is going to be the ERB. Yeet. Good enough. All right, that's all I have for you today. Thanks so much.